Well, I think first let's just do the basic introductions. Tell us your name and your role in the film.
Sorry for me.
Sure.
I'm Alex. I did a lot of the breathing and the sound editing.
Dan. Hi, I'm MJ. I've been trying this out.
Hi, my name is Rin, and I play Joe.
Well, I have so many notes and so many questions. I don't know if we're going to get to all of them tonight. But I guess I want to start with the backdrop. This film being a coming of age at the time of COVID, at the time of environmental damage, and this So can you tell us a little bit about the world you were trying to create and draw from here?
Yeah, I think it's all the things you just mentioned. I think a lot of folks in Seattle probably resonate with trying to grow up and find yourself, to find love in the face of the apocalypse, and something we're all thinking about a lot. You have this thinking about a lot. Yeah, in Nebraska. In Nebraska specifically, that you are very much post-COVID. Yeah, very much post-COVID. Sure. Yeah. That stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this your first feature?
This is my first feature.
Congratulations.
This is all of our first features.
Amazing. I guess also I'd just love to hear a little bit about the production. How did you approach this? How long were you shooting?
Well, we shot 2 years ago, almost to the date. We started shooting on 4/20. And then shooting on your birthday. And shooting on my birthday, which is May 11th. Happy almost tourist season.
Wait, it's tourist season.
It's
already tourist season.
It's already tourist season. I'm doing theater. I don't know anything about astrology. But yeah, we shot for 2 weeks. We were in pre-production for months in advance. I think Alex and I started having conversations up to a year in advance about having a full sound. I've been writing the year plus prior to that. When I started testing the film with one of my producers, Margaret Davenport, who couldn't be here tonight because she's getting married tomorrow.
Yeah, Margaret.
Margaret. And yeah, that's how we met Rin and Lucy and Mary. We did the costumes. Who's back there? Hi, Rin. Mary did the amazing costumes. That was a few months before you started filming, and then we just had a lot of conversations, and yeah.
Might I ask that my character was originally written as a man, and so I think there was a lot that changed from what you had originally written to what we shot to what you all just saw, and I think that there was a transformative process for a lot of people involved in this making. Yeah, just maybe.
Yeah, that was a big change, and a very welcome change, I think, for everyone, because it added a depth to the film itself, and I think to the process of growing behind the camera, which is something that I think that always happens when you make art over a long period of time.
Yeah, a lot of catharsis, a lot of languish.
Yeah.
In the process.
Yeah.
And that is actually a great lead-in. One of my questions was, how did you find these characters, or how did they find themselves? And for both of you, yeah.
I met with Rin, and I didn't really we didn't have any conversations prior to meeting, what part they might be interested in, and then they just told me they wanted to play Joe, within 5 seconds of meeting each other. So that was how we found Joe, was Rin saying, I'm going to play Joe. I was like, that's so cool. But yeah, and then, a lot of conversations. I think that, I know that Rin, myself, and Mary and Lucy, we would all just kind of hang out, go to the park, just there's a lot of presence involved. We wouldn't really
We shifted casting pretty pretty soon before we started shooting, like days before we started shooting. And I think that something that MJ and I were both pretty clear on was like, okay, we are aligned in our creative, what would you say?
We're so aligned, babe.
Vision.
Yeah.
And we kind of took a leap of faith, trusting that everything else would figure itself out. And I think that it was worth it.
Yeah, it was. Lucy Graff, who plays Alex, came on super late and just like rocked it. Like they're so fucking good and they're so amazingly talented. They're in Florida, so they cannot be here with us. But
They
yeah.
took the role of two people, actually. They
Yeah. We had to cut a character actually like a week before production and kind of like merge them into a couple characters, which like totally worked out because it worked out.
That is kind of like one of the wild parts of filmmaking that people don't always, you see the end result. You don't see the process of like, oh, we just found this new thing suddenly. Now we have to go with it. And that's kind of amazing. There's so many elements, like literally elemental compositions in the frame. I saw fire, I saw water, which I'm sure was like quite a process to work with. I saw storms, I saw wind. Do you want to talk a little bit about like how that elemental aspect communicates the story and creates texture?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you just said, like it had like, we knew we wanted to be like outside in the elements a lot. We wanted to be like of Nebraska, and thinking about all of the forces that are fighting against us as like people who live on this earth. A lot of the things we have to worry about are Mother Nature like fighting back against the things we're doing to her, and I don't know, that like the dread, the like discomfort that produces needed to be communicated like elementally, obviously. So that was like the kind of thing that was informing the thematics of the visuals, I guess. And then it allows for so much incredible opportunity for playing with sound, which is what Alex is so incredibly, amazingly talented at. And that was like something that Alex and I talked about a lot ahead of time, and like Alex was collecting so many. I'll let you talk about your process.
No, all I was going to add is that this is our fourth film working together on. Yeah? 4?
Yeah.
So we have an idea of like what we want to do, and yeah, it was just nice to just. I think wasn't a part of like shooting. I was just like in my own little world, recording crickets and cicadas and finding whatever I could find and trying to tie in those themes, and also thinking about like what people are feeling inside their head during hard conversations, during hard events, when things feel overwhelmed. So that's what I was trying to provide sonically.
That is so interesting, because I was going to say like some of this feels like kind of the sound feels like a dream-like soundscape, and some of it feels like voices in my head. And so, I just was curious if you wanted to expand on how you found that.
How did we find that?
Well, it started with Rin and Lucy and Mary doing a lot of that voice work just like in their own heads, kind of off the dome, kind of stuff that they wrote in advance. But they wrote all of that, so.
And then we recorded in my closet.
Oh, I love
Which I felt
sitting
like
in your
is important.
closet.
Then we
It's
all
a really
got in
good
the
time.
closet.
We all got in the closet and we didn't come out. And then we came out. It's a process.
It's a process.
It's a process.
But and the actors were all like so receptive to just like going for shit in Alex's closet. I mean, you wrote things ahead of time, but obviously like so much of it was stuff that you were all just like working through and synthesizing about what we were up to.
And repeating the same elements. I think we went through like each line at least 5 different times, 5 different ways, just to get all those different like, oh my gosh, I miss this person. Oh my gosh, I miss this person. I fucking miss this person. Like just all those different feelings one has saying the same thing. I feel like that was also really important.
I think we recorded the initial like voiceover, what you heard, maybe 6 months out of shooting, and then again a year later. And the initial recording was I was prompted to be very sad. And then the second time there was like a lighter energy to it that I think intertwined by the time that you saw it on screen. But also that arc kind of followed. I mean, maybe just that time between repeating the same words followed the arc of the film in a weird way, like in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all worked on it for so long that it just kind of like took a different shape and tone over the course of like 18 months of like post-production. So when we revisited it a year later, we had different feelsies about it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting, like, you know, you work on a movie and then you kind of come back to different things at different points in the post-production process. Like, did you look at it with different eyes in a certain way, like as you were kind of going through this 18-month process?
I think every time I did a sound edit, you would come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it changes the whole piece.
Yeah, I mean, like sound changes everything, and just like it's so nerve-wracking to like even just be in production and just know like, okay, sound's gonna do a lot of the work here, most of the work, so just like we're gonna do this 2, 3, 4, 5 minute take, and yeah, we'll fill in most of the like energy later. So you were so patient about trusting that, because that's really hard for actors.
Of course. I love you.
I love
It
so
works
much.
out. Let's see here. I've got a couple more. Don't worry. Also, just like I've seen quite a bit of your work too, because you two have done, like you said, 4 collaborations. I think most of those have played at different years at Benson Film Fests.
Yeah,
right?
At least 23.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, our last one.
And I do kind of get this like kind of consistent theme of like we have so much texture, we have visual storytelling, usually like not a lot of dialogue. I'm curious like to hear like why, like what it is that you love about kind of telling this story visually, telling it with texture, telling it with sound, as opposed to dialogue. For either of you, any of you.
I mean, I think that all three of us share like a pretty. We're very excited about like the expansive possibilities of cinema. Viscerality. Yeah, I don't think that's a word, but whatever. And I think that in all of our practices, you know, Rin is an amazing multimedia artist. Alex obviously is an incredible sound artist. Like we're all very concerned with like haptics and like, you know, sensorial art, and movies can do that like really well because they can combine everything. So I think that that's kind of like what all of our like ethic is, or like North Star is for at least this project for sure. I'm sorry, I'm kind of speaking for the two.
No, that was very well put. I actually don't have anything to add.
All right.
Yeah, and I think early on we tried moving away from just like, you know, what we're doing now, talking, and having more to do with technology, like cell phones, inner thoughts, inner ear. And I think that's just something we have just decided on and continue to want to do, less like direct face-to-face and more like a tertiary roundabout way to communicate, which I think as a millennial, I think, you know, MySpace era we're kind of used to. I'm sure that younger people kind of feel like you're never directly talking to someone at their face. It's now this like figure 8 Ouroboros kind of like way to like have a conversation, and I think that's what we're working on. Is a thesis we're picking at.
Yeah, we're picking at a lot. But yeah, no, it just opens up a lot of exciting possibilities, and also just like, you know, the experience of like sitting together and watching something. If you can kind of like sink into a trance, I think we're all pretty interested in like creating experiences like that with our art.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think also like it would be I'd be remiss not to like kind of talk a little bit about like the themes of the piece, right? Like, you've got this like passion and like grief and this kind of like whole like again like young coming of age story. How do you feel like this film is kind of a product of its time? How do you feel like you were hoping the audiences would engage with the film?
I mean, to the first point, I mean, like, you know, it's weird, like, it takes 2 years, and you're like, oh my god, I'm a totally fucking different person than I was when I was, like, writing it, or when we were shooting it, or, you know, even, like, the beginning stages of editing it. So, yeah, I think just, like, any artist probably resonates with, like, oh my god, that's, like, old. And not in a bad way, just, like, I feel like a different person made it, sort of, which is really beautiful, and it, like, kind of speaks to how art can, like, show you yourself on continuity, you know? So hopefully that maybe works on some level for everyone else as well.
Yeah, and I also think going back to what you were talking about, the like elemental aspect of things and the passion that you were talking about that we see in the piece, and especially the fire, I think the fire started becoming this like mode of explaining the intensity of the situation that the characters were in, but also in the ways that fire comes back into play, especially in how the characters smoke so many cigarettes, I think becomes a mode of like almost like a love language, that it's something that they're sharing in, and also something that they are doing that is maybe secretive and queer and maybe also unexplained.
So queer and unexplained.
So queer and unexplained. And
yeah, it's all of those things, you know. Yeah, it just goes back to like, well, go ahead, Alex, but I'm just saying, it goes back to like all the opportunities that like sticking to a like audiovisual, you know, ethic of filmmaking and not being as like constricted by narrative or dialogue or things like that. Like we can just kind of like throw every idea in and like it will bubble to the surface in some way.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I just want everyone to vibe out, honestly. Like that's all I really care about.
It's different intensities of noise and silence. And I think for like how this continues to be shown, I think if people just don't clap at the end, like I'll feel pretty good about it. If everyone's just like,
good job.
Just like you went through a breakup.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
When I've been explaining this film to people who haven't seen it yet, I've been explaining it as an abstract piece of visual art that takes the form of a film and not a movie. And I don't know if that does much to you all who have seen the film, but I think that has been my understanding of this process at large.
That feels really good. Yeah, that
feels great.
Word.
Well, I guess, you know, is there anything else you want to kind of share with us about the piece, the process, funny stories, how many different types of breathing Alex did?
A lot of breathing. There was fire. There were tornadoes. There was, you know, there was
flash flood. Do you remember that?
There was a flash flood that we narrowly missed. There was vomit.
You thought the actual
I puked. It was me.
There was everything, and it was so fun, you know. And like, obviously, I think that anyone who engages in like a collaborative art form knows it's like the fucking best part is just like making it, obviously, because you get to make beautiful, amazing friends for life.
Hell yeah!
Is that your question? Sorry.
That was great. All right, well, thank you, MJ. Thank you, Rin. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you all for coming.
This was wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here.
Please get to know these filmmakers after the show. And tonight we are going to go over to just the Beer Cave, St. Andrews area and hang out and kind of do more social there. So if you want to come, please join us. And I would look forward to talking to all of you. I know I won't be able to. What do you got, Ben? I mean, I'll be there. Okay. Ben's coming too. Oh, yeah. And tomorrow morning, there's this other thing we're doing where we're doing Saturday morning cartoons. What time does the first, does that start at 10, Ben? Apologies. 10 a.m.? Yes, sir. Saturday morning cartoons, we're going to have cereal, milk and some coffee from Hardy, some pastries. Please come hang out. I don't care if you wear your pajamas.
Real quick, thank you to Ben and Michael and to the projectionists and to all the amazing volunteers and to everyone who's putting on this really amazing festival. It's such a fucking crucial thing to have in Omaha, Nebraska. Like support local film festivals, support local arts, all that shit, dude. Like,
Thanks,
Yeah.
y'all. And thank you for being a part of it. This is great.
And thank you all again for being here. Okay, bye.
Stick around for a picture, all right, y'all?
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Let's have a good night.